To whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it, the odds can stack back against the wall, but even consider it such, no, you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines, one too many times. Wicked games we play make me wanna lose my mind. Found solitude, knowing it'll be over soon. Ever need a boost, count on me for the 1-2.
We're here. We are here. YouTube, we are here. Welcome to the Suplex Sports Podcast. For those who are rocking with us, we've been on Spotify for over a year now with our subscribers over there. Much peace, love, respect, and humbleness to you all for staying with us, rocking out with us over the last year on Spotify. And here we are making our debut on YouTube. Alright? Suplex Sports Podcast, what we typically do, we discuss the sports topics that we choose. Of course. And we're going to pick them up and put them down suplex style. That's how we do it. That's how we get it. Simple as that. Alright? So we're going to go ahead and get into it. This is the weekend roundup. It's going to give you a little bit of info what happened over the weekend, give you my takes on some things, all things considered, good or bad. As we all know, I'm gonna kick it off with that action down in Miami Gardens at the Hard Rock. Oh yeah, the Copa America, the finals, Argentina versus Colombia. I can honestly say, I was going with Colombia. I thought Colombia was going to be, put up at least 3-4 goals. And, it was a back and forth battle. Unfortunately, they fell to Argentina 1-0. But I don't think that the game really told the whole entire story of how things was going down in Miami Gardens. Off the chain. If you all thought that whole entire Capitol riot thing was something, imagine a bunch of Colombians, hopping the fence, climbing the gates, going through vents, doing whatever it took to see their home team and root them on. That's something that I've never seen before. It's unprecedented in any light, as far as I'm concerned. But for me, goes to show, soccer is a very passionate game. Now, I've learned to respect soccer over the years. I thought it was more or less, a pretty boy contest. You had, Beckham and, Ronaldo, and who's the dude? Neymar, you know what I'm saying? And, I really didn't get much joy out of it. And then, you got the World Cups that come in, everybody stopped watching the Cup. So I really took the time, to watch the game more. Granted, yes, I did used to play FIFA back in the day, and I haven't played FIFA in a long, long time. But once again, the passion that, the country of Colombia and the country of Argentina, how they show out and show their whole entire ass, so to speak, in public, and did what they had to do to see their home team unfortunately lose 1-0 to Argentina. But shout out to Colombia, shout out to Argentina. That's that, unfortunately. Moving on. The whole thing over the last week, the whole entire Shakur Stevenson and Mace and Cameron, it's hit a whole new peak. Now you got the legendary Southern Godfather Jay Prince getting involved. Had a few things to say on the situation, Mr. Prince did, and for what it's worth, Jay, it's funny how Jay Prince does pick and choose when he needs to get involved with some things. That was, come on, man. Leave it alone. No, you didn't even touch the Drake situation. You know what I'm saying? With Kendrick Lamar, which is fact. And you basically knew that Pusha T was basically suplexing Drake all over the arena. And you had to intervene to get that stopped. So, but other than that, man, I mean, I'm gonna let them cats go ahead and handle that in their own arena, essentially. But yeah, I mean, it's I ain't gonna lie, it's straight comical. Do I think Shakur Stevenson is a boring fighter? Not gonna say boring per se, but very skilled fighter who fights a certain way and wins. I mean, you got guys who go in there with the killer instinct just to kill, and you got guys who go in there with skill. Essentially, that's just the way I see it, honestly. But that whole Jay Prince and first and foremost, I mean, it's okay for everybody to give their opinion, and this is what podcasting, broadcasting, journalism is all about, is giving your opinion. Sometimes you don't really have to be sensitive to it because of the person who's saying it, you know what I'm saying, on that platform or whatever else happened. Yeah, we're going to take exception. Yeah, everybody's going to take constructive criticism. That's just the name of the game. We all do in our everyday lives. But, you learn a few things where you learn, or you just brush it off your shoulders, move on. At the end of the day, you got your bread, they got their bread, you move a certain way, they move a certain way. All that extra ain't even necessary. But that's just my take on it. That topic's just been suplexed as well. Done with that. MLB. We are at the All-Star break, folks. We are at Major League Baseball's All-Star break. And it's been very surprising thus far this season. I can tell you, us here in the Northeast, we thought, at least me, I was like, damn, the Yankees are they're gonna run away with this thing, man. They built a commanding lead in the division, and I didn't see a collapse. And for what it's worth, it's only the first half of the season, but the first half sets things up for the second half. And of course, with the trade deadline being the 30th of July, we'll see what moves are being made for teams to essentially get into contention. All right, I mean, that's just how it's essentially going to go down. But I think that's probably the most surprising thing. I mean, them dudes got a lineup, man. Lock, stock, and barrel, hands down. Even took Verdugo from the Sox in a trade. But like I said, it's only the first half. They'll probably spin it around, get it better as we go into the fall. I know Yankees fans ain't worried about it right now, but we know Yankees fans are off the hook, very passionate about their team just as well as any other team in baseball. But yeah, something's going on in Denmark. With that said, I'm just gonna go ahead and, as we go into the All-Star break, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you guys the top 3 teams in their respective divisions in Major League Baseball. All right, kicking it off, we got the Baltimore Orioles, currently in first place, followed by the New York Yankees, and then the Boston Red Sox. Very interesting. I didn't even see that one coming. But it's the first half. It's the first half of the season. Like I said, it's going to be shocking. Something's going to be shocking going forward. I know. Whatever. AL Central, Cleveland, the Guardians are currently leading, followed by the Minnesota Twins, a.k.a. as we know them back in the day, the Twinkies. And then third, those Kansas City Royals. Moving on to the AL West. Seattle's holding the top spot. I'm just as shocked as anybody about Seattle, for what it's worth. But followed by Seattle is the Stros. those Stros, man. Houston is Houston, man. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Houston they're a dynamite team. You know what I mean? So I expect Houston to be there in the fall. You know, and followed by Houston is the Rangers as well. Those Texas boys. So both those Texas teams, man, I expect to see them in the AL. Somewhere in the playoffs. They'll be there. I'm pretty sure of it. That's just the style of it. How their styles match up out there in the AL. The Stros they've just been solid all the way around. It's like any given year they can go ahead and take it. If anything you want to say right now, Astros is essentially maybe the old school version of the Yankees of the South right now, of them being consistent. You know, one guy leaves, still consistent. It's you know, very consistent, and consistency is key. You know, so that's what it is thus far. Moving on to the NL East, Philly. Love Philly. My people's in Philly. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to Tri-State. Shout out to Northeast as well. But yeah, family in Philly. Love you guys. Always like the Phillies. They're doing their thing right now. We'll see if they can keep it going. Followed by the Phillies are the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets. I mean, you know, we'll see if the Mets can do what they could turn it around. I mean, last year was of course it wasn't as what we expected. Diaz going down, and then you know, then some things may be a little bit different now with Diaz. You know, he got caught with a little substance on himself and got thrown out of the game. So I know he's been working himself back, but you know, well, hopefully he ain't got to cheat to get it done, so to speak. Keep an eye out on Edwin. You know, Mr. Timmy Trumpet. We'll keep an eye on it. All right. NL Central, the Brewers, followed by the Cards and the Pirates. And the NL West, of course, is the Dodgers, Arizona, and the Fathers, the Padres. I'm actually I'm happy. I'm happy personally for the Padres. I'm a Padres fan on the side. One of my favorite NL teams, and it seems like they're getting things back together after you know issues last year, whatever else have you, and Tatis, the drugs, and you know Bogarts and stuff like that. So they're looking good. Let them do their thing. We're only at the All-Star break. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We're not going to jump the gun. We're not going to panic. We're not going to jump off the ledge. It's just the All-Star break. We got a whole second half to go. So take it easy. Everybody's going to take it easy. With the All-Star game festivities comes the Home Run Derby. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the participants of the Home Run Derby. And I want you all to put in your comments, who do you think is going to win the Home Run Derby? All right. So we got defending champion Pete Alonso. Currently this year, he has 18 home runs. Alec Boehm of the Philadelphia Phillies currently has 11 home runs. Adolis Garcia of the Texas Rangers currently have 17 home runs. Gunnar Henderson from Baltimore currently has 27 home runs this season. Teosar Hernandez of the LA Dodgers have 19 home runs. Marcell Ozuna, my man, from Atlanta, he currently has 26 home runs this season. Jose Ramirez, he currently has 23. And Bobby Witt Jr. from KC has 16. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my pick real quick of who I think is going to go ahead and take it. Honestly, I think Pete Alonso is going to go ahead and get it done again. Real talk. I think Pete Alonso, honestly. I mean, you got to kind of ride the hard hand when you got a guy who essentially has been in multiple home run derbies, and you know it's all about timing and you know the shifting at the you already know what it is. So I'm going with Pete. I think Pete's going to go ahead and take it, honestly. And that's just my my take on that. All right, moving on. Team USA. They went ahead. They beat Australia Final score of 98-92. I mean, it's still the exhibition, still the Olympic Games are still another week and a half, 2 weeks away. So, they're getting the rust off, getting everybody looking right. You know what I'm saying? You can see who's been working out and who's been doing what. I can honestly tell you, just from my first glance, my first look, Mr. Joel Embiid he looked kind of out of shape. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know, man. He just didn't, he's doing his thing, but he just don't, so he might end up coming off the bench or whatever else have you. That's cool. But currently for the game against Australia, a lot of players in double digits. Ant-Man had 11 points. AD had 17 points. Double-double, 17 points, 14 rebounds. LeBron had 10 points. Embiid had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. Bam had 10 points. Booker had 16 points. So pretty solid effort for Team USA. Pretty solid effort, I would say, going in. As they, gotta get it together collectively moving forward and, figure it out. So when we get into the thick of things, they're out there getting it. You know what I'm saying? The game shouldn't be so close in margin when you got these guys out on the floor. Plus, waiting to get KD back as well, of course. So, But for the time being, we're going to ride. We're going to ride out. We're going to do our thing. That's all I got to say on that. All right. Continuing with the theme of the NBA, seems like Knicks are signing Campaign to a one-year deal. I mean, the Villanova Knicks is what I'm calling them. Yeah, that's what I'm calling them going into the season, the Villanova Knicks. So they add another guard in Campaign. Veteran. He's doing his thing. Came a long way, I can honestly say. I remember the boy was out there dabbing on the sidelines with Russell Westbrook back in the day. So congrats to you, Mr. Campaign, and getting on with the Knicks for 1 year. Also, most interesting news that I heard, honestly, was Pat Beverly stating that he has a very, very lucrative offer to play overseas next season, opposed to taking the NBA veteran minimum. So, my humble opinion on that. It all depends on what you got left in the tank, dog, honestly. I mean, if they're offering you a very lucrative, deal for maybe a year or two or whatever else have you, go get the bag. I mean, ultimately, I understand. You want that NBA ring. You want that championship ring. It's eluded you. And I know it's something that you want to chase. It's something that you want to get. There's nothing wrong with it. But then if it ain't about the money, then, stay in the NBA and go ahead and get on with a contending team that can go deep in the playoffs and potentially challenge for a championship in that respect. So, I mean, it can go either way in terms of how I'm thinking about it. Just my humble opinion. I mean, Pat Bev's going to end up doing what he feels is right for him and his family, and we all for that here. So, I mean, with that said, do your thing, bro. You got our support, for sure. All right. Summer League. It's all been Summer League it's been a few good games. The games have been pretty, decent thus far. I mean, the people turn their heads, but it's been all about Bronny, essentially, and what Bronny's done, and how he's adjusting to NBA life or whatever else have you. I mean, let that young man be. The only thing about this is that him being actually on the Lakers is, come on, man. Like I think he probably would have been suited to spread his wings somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And really get his beak wet a little bit. You know what I mean? Who's to say? I don't know if Bronny he's got his own bread now, so he can get his own pad and do what he need to do. His father always got him, so, But other than that, I mean, it's I think people just got to let the young man develop the way he needs to develop. It's just that you playing for the same team as your father, there's just too much eyes on you, man. It's just way, way too much. And with that, I mean, just don't fold under the pressure. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? Keep shooting, keep doing what you do. But I can honestly say, for the amount of, time he spent, working with his father and working with other pro athletes and, getting to know the game, I think it's only a matter of time, but at the same time, it's good for him to develop. So that's why I do see young Bronny more or less in the G League developing more, other than, going ahead and being on the bench or right on the end of the bench for the Lakers. Maybe in some spurts, yes, but you know how it goes. But yeah, but he did get a W though. He did get a dub this weekend. Shout out to Bronny, Call of Duty champion. You know what I'm saying? I seen the belt, seen him posing with the belt. That's tight. Heard you won in the final seconds. That's what's up. COD all day, baby. COD all day, hands down. All right. One quick little rumor that came across was Skip Bayless could be potentially leaving Undisputed. Now, I don't know what that would mean for the program. Would the program, essentially dissolve itself? Would it still be Undisputed? But, going on with a different cast of players, athletes, and journalists as well, which would be, very intriguing. But yeah, Skip's done. Just a rumor of Skip's done, he's done. I mean, right now, there's been like a strong 8 years of Undisputed, 7 with the incomparable Shannon Sharpe, Big Ump. And, after, they had that little fallout or whatever else have you, it just didn't see the same. It didn't see the same. Didn't seem the same at all. And when Shannon left, that it just couldn't get back on. You couldn't replace that. You see that he wouldn't change the whole entire format of the show. Implemented Richard Sherman, Michael Irvin. You see Rachel Nichols. You see Paul Pierce. And it just doesn't have that pop. The ratings ain't popping like they were. You know what I'm saying? You ain't seen Shannon. Shannon was out there. He had his little props. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was the greatest joy for me was to work remotely during the pandemic, and I always knew at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, Undisputed was coming on, and I knew I was going to go see Shay. I knew I was going to see Unc, and I knew Unc was going to give it to you. He was going to give it to you, and he gave his all. But for what it's worth, if this is actually true, shout out to Skip Bayless, for your illustrious career. Very, very controversial at that. I can honestly say, had we had the other members of the team on the show, it would probably go left. So I'm gonna leave it right here with the weekend roundup. We may revisit it, but if it gets spicy, it's not on me. All right. So hopefully Skip stay put. If you don't, this guy, I'm being nice, man. There's gonna be other cats that come for you, honestly. And that pretty much wraps things up. One more thing that we want to also state, one more thing that happened over the weekend. You seen former President Donald Trump almost get taken out by a stupid young kid or whatever else have you. My thing is, man, you can't take politics personal. These cats ain't at your door. They ain't on your lawn. They ain't jigging the key to your door. At the end of the day, we do have to go on and press on with our daily lives, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I say that to say this, man. Keep it peaceful. Keep it respectful. Everybody's gonna have their opinion, but when it comes to, getting rowdied up to a point where you want to get a gun and take a man's life, bro, that's a come on, man. We're overdoing stuff, bro. And at the same time, we are better than that. You know what I'm saying? You look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, yo, I'm better than this, man. I'm better than that. Honestly. For real. So, but that's all I have to say on that topic in terms of that. Glad, you know, I know he got clipped across the ear, but the man's all right, and, you know, he's pressing on doing his campaign thing. Let him do this thing. My man Biden, he's out there. He's doing his thing. Let them do their campaign thing. Whoever's doing independent, you go ahead and you keep doing your thing. If there's any other parties out there and you still trying to rock to get yourself on that ballot, keep doing your thing, man. Suplex Sports, we ain't coming for you. You know, we ain't coming for you. I ain't got no time for that. So, we do have a segment. We call it Suplex of the Week. So basically, this is Suplex of the Weekend, honestly. And I want to suplex the security at the Hard Rock in Miami Gardens. I am suplexing you guys. That is the suplex of the weekend. That is the suplex of the weekend, man. Once cats start going through fence to getting into an arena, bro, that's insane, man. I mean, I'm straight going through the HVACs to get into the arena to see this game. Right there, and of course, you know, you got the soccer hooligans and all of the fighting. I think they weren't prepared for some of that, man. Honestly, they weren't prepared at all. Them dudes, they came in there they was on a mission. The saddest thing that I seen out of that whole entire ordeal was the guy who was at the gate, and he had his phone out showing his tickets. He said, "Man, I spent $2,000 on these tickets." Man, I felt bad for that dude because the gate was locked and he couldn't get in. Man, oh man. That's the suplex of the weekend, essentially. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We all need you to share, like, and subscribe. This is the Suplex Sports Podcast. This is your boy, Big Meesh. We'll see you next time. Peace.